this idea of internal classes within a college environment, I'm not arguing the argument for safe space. This is my argument. The students that go to these colleges are not going to these colleges for free. They're either paying for it up front or they're going to be paying for it down the line.
Oh, yeah.
So if I walk into a class and I get a teacher who wants to tout, to extol, let's say under the guise of it's a history class, the wonders of Nazism, or I literally did have a teacher who actually, under the guise of, they didn't call it history, they called it social sciences or social studies or something way back when. Shows you how old I am.
It was social studies. I'm right there with you.
Slavery was better aesthetically for black people. Now, wait a minute. I am paying for these classes. This is not free. It's like if I don't like a product in the store, I get to return it. So if I'm in a classroom and learning, if I'm on a campus, if I'm in an environment, there are certain things that aesthetically I shouldn't have to put up with because it is not free. This was not given.
Yeah, but it's like, let me ask you this question, Umar.
We have to challenge students. Where does that come from?
Oh, most definitely. Okay, let me ask you this question. Are you in any fraternity or sorority? Not sorority. Are you a part of a fraternity?
Oh no,
Okay, so
no, I didn't like fraternities from day one.
Yeah, me either. I'm not a fan because I've never been a fan of paying someone some money to beat my behind and then call me brother, right? I'm not really into that. But if this is something you choose to spend your money on, you're going to do what that organization, and you're going to go through the process that organization sets out. And that's a university, man. The university, what are they going to say? I don't like your curriculum, so I want you to change my curriculum because I'm paying for it. Nah, you go through the university and you take what the university gives. Now, to your point, though, if a professor brings a topic that is challengeable, then that professor should not be able to espouse his positions without the students being equally free to challenge it back. And otherwise, you don't have a classroom. You don't have learning. All you have is a church and someone just shoving their religion down your throat. So to me, if a professor wants to say that slavery was the greatest thing in history, then I'm ready for that class, man. Please let me go there so I can say exactly why the hell he's screwed up in his head. And to me, it's those clashing of ideas that makes for the best learning environment, whether we wanted to or not, whether it's intentional or not. You can have a bigoted professor and a student who doesn't have anything to lose, and they would create the most intellectual, stimulating environment for all the rest of the people who are viewing it. But I disagree. I think if you choose to go to an institution, whether you pay for it or not, you are becoming a part of their culture and you have to abide by their curriculum and their rules. I just think that safe spaces should be thrown out the window because I think, especially when it comes to ideological differences, how else are people going to have a more holistic view of the world? How else will they be able to get out of their echo chamber if they're never challenged?
But if you're just dealing it with an environment like America, okay, come on, we're in a white supremacist environment. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's just how it is. I think that black people do need a space where they can come together and have a discussion without being interrupted. I think women, especially in this rape culture environment, do need a space where they can get together and hash it out without guys coming in and saying, well, this is my opinion on it.
Well,
I'm not talking about if you give a speech on the campus, that's one thing entirely. But I agree that clubs, even the frat and the sororities are essentially safe spaces.
Yeah. No, and notice now what I said was in the public square. If you are on campus and you are out in public and you're declaring to the world what you believe, that removes your right to have a safe space because you're trying to forward your ideology, good or bad, right or wrong. It could be the exact thing that the world needs to hear, but you're doing it in the public square for other people to consume. At that point, people have a right to challenge you. Now, if it's a question of having a safe space, a space that's confidential and that is secure for people to have conversations that don't need to be exposed to the public, then absolutely, by all means. I mean, there should be everywhere, somewhere where people can take a step back and have a respite and have a rest and be able to talk amongst themselves about their challenges and their strategy, right? But once you go out into public and you take it upon yourself to shout, good or bad, to the top of your lungs what you believe, that no longer gives you the right to a safe space, because now someone else is hearing it and they should have equal rights to challenge it. That's where that public square is, my opinion, where your safe space ends. And when we say safe, we are absolutely not talking about safe from violence. You should always be free from violence. I'm talking about free from ideological challenges. Say that again.
I'm going to let someone else get through.
Okay. Thanks for the call, Umar. It's always a pleasure, man. And thanks for the support of the show.